Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Baby. That's what you used to do. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Have you watched The Truman
back,
Show?
baby.
You watched The Truman Show?
Don't
Did I do this last time? He ends with, if I don't see you, good morning, good night, goodbye. It's a good show. Good film. Anyway, DMs.
Deep dive into the DMs.
DMs, dilemmas.
Dramas, DMs.
I've got a
dilemmas.
TikTok I want to play you as well.
I've got some savage stories.
Okay, let's just go. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and welcome.
The Unfiltered Bride Podcast. Tips from the top table and beyond.
So you know it's going to be juicy.
You'll never guess who sponsored the podcast again.
It's got to be our favourites, Crafty Lab.
If you're an avid listener, you'll know that they are the home of the viral wedding newspapers that I had at my wedding.
But we wanted to tell you even more about them, so let's do some quick fire tips.
Yes, okay, go.
You can fully personalise your newspapers. It's not a template. Each newspaper is completely different and you can write whatever you want, so it's all about you.
You can use them anywhere from ceremony chairs to wedding breakfast tables. Roll them up with string, choose a booklet option or leave them flat. They all look bougie.
They can be fun and functional, crosswords, order a service and taxi numbers.
And all those tips I give on TikTok. Think Irish goodbyes, meet the wedding party, your love story, anything and everything.
Printed in classic black and white or colour, there's loads of options to make sure they fit your wedding aesthetic.
It's easy. They basically do it all for you. And I am 100% certain that your guests are going to love it. So make sure you get your order in now.
Don't forget to use the code UNFILTERED for 10% discount too.
Okay. Do you want to start or should I start?
I don't know, because I feel like mine, I don't know if it should be like the start because it's
banging. Let me play you the TikTok first.
quite shocking, darling.
Shocking news from... I could be a news presenter. That was good. Shocking news from the wedding industry.
Latest news from the wedding industry. There have been reports that numerous of people are listening to this Unfiltered Bride podcast and leaving 5-star reviews.
We're just in. I believe we've hit over 250,000 downloads.
That means the tour is on the cards. I think that was really good.
That was good. Right, let me find my TikTok. I'm not going to play it all because it's quite long, but...
The funniest thing is when we film our sponsors, I can't read the words.
Yeah, we have to zoom in on like 7%, like 70%. Right, let me find this TikTok.
Are you showing at me, playing at me?
I can show it you and I'll just play a bit, but...
Okay. Is it more...
No, it's more sound than...
Okay, let's go.
Okay, wait.
Just an FYI, do not invite me to an abroad wedding. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I in love? No. Well then, it's not worth me spending money on that flight then, is it? I don't want to spend money to go travelling for you. I don't want to spend money to fly somewhere for you. I don't get a holiday as it is. So why would I use one of my holiday credits, aka hard-earned money, to go and watch you? Invite me to a wedding in the Cotswolds. Invite me to a wedding in Scotland even. Devon, Cornwall, even Norwich. But do not invite me for a wedding in Marbella. Because if and when I do go to Marbella, I don't want it to be for you.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think it depends how close you are to people.
It makes me be like, fuck you, I'm not inviting you to a wedding then.
Yeah, I mean, I think abroad weddings should be quite intimate anyway. Like, you can't expect the full guest list. And like, if someone invited me to an abroad wedding that I wasn't that close to, I'd be like, yeah, I ain't going to Marbella for you.
Oh, it just makes me go
Paul, like annual leave costs money. Like, it is a big commitment,
and it's not a one-day thing. You cannot go.
It can't go to work tomorrow, and do you know what I mean? There's a lot more compromise from the guest, but if they're in your close circle, then it's like a big holiday, isn't it, for everyone?
Yeah, I just don't know whether you'd be, like, if he is saying that and then his sister got married. So I should probably say the name of the TikTok as well, to be fair. Let's Fred Asquith.
Shout out Fred. Also, shout out Cotswolds.
Yeah, I know. When I heard that, I was like, oh, okay. The person who invited you to their destination wedding watching, like. Yeah, a lot of people are on here saying couldn't agree more. a broad wedding is something that is expensive.
We are going to do an episode on abroad weddings. We
Yeah.
just want to make sure we got the right content and enough juicy stuff.
Because they're a bit of a minefield.
Yeah, and I think again, it's one of those where you're like, oh, how close are you? There's so many factors that depend on it. We can't give direct answers on it.
And the kids bit is the awkward bit.
Kiddie winkles.
Because I get why you can't not invite the kids, but also you don't want all those kids there because it's your holiday as well.
Kids hot and sweaty are annoying as well.
Go on then. Give me your big in.
Oh, do I go with the biggie first,
yeah.
or do I?
So I've already seen Beth react to this,
Okay.
and she won't. She hasn't read
I haven't
it
told
to
you.
me. No.
I do have to pre-warn Brian that he's going to have to bleep one of the words
Okay. Why?
because it's a naughty word.
The C word.
The C-bomb got dropped.
Okay. Is that our line? Is it? Is that where we're at? So you can say that baby's breath smells like cat piss.
Yeah, but I'm not allowing the C-bomb to be said.
Okay. Can we use a different word instead?
No, it doesn't.
You want the beep?
It doesn't.
Fine.
Doesn't
okay.
give the juice that we're after.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, I'm scared.
Hi, Georgie and Beth. Hope you're both well. I'm getting married in May and I'm loving listening to your podcast and getting all the tips. Just saw this point in one of the wedding Facebook groups and it made me gasp. Can't imagine this happening. I don't know the person who posted it and have removed names, so hopefully it's okay to share. Well, let me tell you. Ready? Hi all. I'm hoping someone may have some legal advice for me. My husband and I got married and it was perfect. UK based 3 weeks ago. I didn't really see eye to eye with my wedding coordinator as it was a venue she was supplied to us.
So it's actually a venue coordinator, not a wedding coordinator. We've learnt that.
So I didn't have a choice, but I was never rude or disrespectful. I received a message at 2 a.m. this morning, literally said from her, I feel it's time to tell you you're both Now, this could be a drunk text, but I feel regardless of that, I should never have had a message sent to me like that. We are both so respectful people. We didn't cause any drama or anything, so I don't know why she has this opinion. But I'm furious. What would any of you do? Sorry for the rant. Still in such a love bubble, but this has gutted me. Mic drop.
Firstly... What? What? Why would you say... What, 3 weeks ago she got married? What's happened to that poor wedding venue coordinator that has suddenly made her then text? Is it for her? I need more information than this. I need more.
Did you see why I wanted to save it and not
Yeah.
tell you? This shit.
What?
Imagine texting someone like that at 2 a.m. Maybe she was leaving the venue, so she was like, fuck it, I'm going to tell them what I think.
Why would she even have their number still? What? God, what would you do? Because you can't... Well, what can you do? You can't ask for money back.
I mean, I it's awful.
Say it again. You're both...
No, I feel like it's now time to tell you.
I feel like that's the worst bit of it. I've been simmering on this for 3 weeks. Now is the time to tell you. Oh. I don't even know what to say to that.
I personally, if I was the bride, I would send it to the venue and be like, I'm just going to leave this here. I haven't decided to post it anywhere. I haven't decided to go to the local press.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Because I reckon you'll get a hefty whack back. Imagine that going viral about your venue.
Yes. Have we talked about it before? Can you remember that venue
Damage
where
control.
that chef, they were bullying some other chefs and they, what did they do? They poured hot oil on him or something.
What?
It was horrific.
You've not told me this.
Oh, let me try and find it before I butcher the story. Ooh, Brian, can you remember the venue?
We started off with a bang.
It's a venue.
I'm shook. Are you shook?
That is...
I'd just be like, I'm blocking these people.
Okay, I found it. I'm not gonna name the name of the place.
Is it
because
local?
Yes. Head
Wait,
chef.
when was this?
This was 2019.
Okay.
But it was massive. A head chef at a luxury spa has been sacked following allegations of bullying, which ended with another chef being scolded by having hot buttered potato put down his trousers. So, beep, venue.
That's so sad.
Staff involved were immediately disciplined and dismissed. the chef who was 22, had worked at the hotel for 2 years, and in his experience had been warning others in the industry not to take the abuse. I've been working at Beep for 2 years, and after ignoring constant burns, punches, some black eyes, forced to eat items ranging from rabbit shit to raw chicken, jokes went a bit too far when I was scolded and hospitalised due to pouring boiled butter down my trousers. So he took it to press and was like, fuck you all.
He must have got a payout for that.
Everywhere.
That's awful. I hate bullying.
Disgusting. But also that is a form of bullying. Texting and saying, feel like it's now time to tell you. Jesus Christ.
I don't know if they're telling the whole side of the story though, because
like why would they message?
Yeah, there's got to be something. They didn't see eye to eye, so maybe there was something. But again, it doesn't warrant the. But also, they've finished now. Like they've done their wedding. They're gone. Why would you send them a message? You got through it. It's 2 a.m. I reckon she went on there.
Absolutely smashed.
God.
Oh dear, she's in trouble.
Anyway,
maybe she'll apply for my job. Okay, let me find one for you.
I got one.
Have you got one? Go.
Yeah. No, actually,
what?
So convo.
Yeah.
We're talking about abroad weddings. So this is a story from somebody.
This is a story all
about how my life is upside down. I take a minute to right there.
So I hope we came through that.
Anyway. So this is someone who I know. I can't name names.
Okay.
Because they listen. So basically, they've been invited to an abroad wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And have been told in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Lovely.
Love Greece.
Have been told that they have to wear floor length dresses. All the women do to the floor.
Okay.
Not too bad.
It's quite hard to find floor length dresses these days, but okay, carry on.
Someone found a dress to her ankles and got told it wasn't good enough. Had to touch the floor. Right.
You're tripping over though.
And then
a
letter got sent out to all the guests. A letter saying all the guests have to have their teeth whitened for the wedding.
No, it doesn't. No, I do not believe you.
If it didn't come from a close blood relative, I would not believe it.
Teeth whitening.
Teeth white. I just want to smile. Just don't take any photos of me.
Teeth, to be fair.
I think the level of demandingness that's a different level.
So this is where my issue lies, because I can understand when people say it shouldn't be all about Instagram and it shouldn't be all about things, but actually, unfortunately, sometimes it is, and there are certain things that I did at my wedding because I wanted it to look nice. Where is that line? Because teeth whitening is definitely over it, but where's the line?
I'd be like, all right, hon, if you're going to pay for it, I'll absolutely get my teeth whitened.
And how do you know as well? Just, I whiten my teeth.
Your teeth don't know white enough. You don't get in.
The fuck?
It's very entitled, isn't it?
I don't even know if that's the right word.
The amount of comments we get on TikTok and things like, your stories are not real, you just do it for clout. Like, genuinely,
yes.
We don't have time to sit and make up these stories because they're so random.
Teeth, what? I think first thing I would do is ask if other people have had that, or if it was just aimed at me. Can you specifically whiten your teeth?
I'd be like, yeah, okay, are you funding it?
Yeah.
If you're funding it, not a problem.
I'm also not a fan of the floor length dresses because that's really hard to find.
Yeah.
I'm mad for them.
There we go.
Teeth whitening. That's a new one. That is a new
one.
Want
some more?
Shall I tell you? So my best friend said to me the other day, she's getting married abroad. She was like, I've had a thought about bridesmaids' hair. And I was like, okay. She wants kind of slick back low buns. And do you know what I said?
Get fucked.
I went, okay, Hannah, no problem. Because I'm a good friend. And that's what you do when the bride tells you what you have to do. Okay?
Are you comfortable with a slick back low
No,
one?
it wouldn't be what I choose, but it's not my wedding day.
Yeah, fair.
And later on, I'll take it down. No, but it's I just don't understand it. Hey, Cooper. If that's what somebody wants, I'm not offended by it. If I had something that it was a really issue, I'd speak to her about it. But it's not my wedding day.
Yeah,
I'll smile and wave and do whatever you need.
I think you need to be comfortable, but
yeah, it's not my day. And I just think if everybody understood that, there'd be a lot less arguments.
Definitely.
With mates. You go, cool, yeah, but I will remember that when I get married and have your slick back hair.
Yeah.
Shall I read you a bit just from a bride?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm looking for a little help, support, advice, if that's okay. Just told my only sister that I'd like her to be a bridesmaid, and she burst into tears because she wasn't maid of honor.
Oh.
I feel really awful about it and don't know what to do. My plan was to have my closest friend as maid of honor and my sister and future sister-in-law as 2 bridesmaids.
Nice.
I've already been maid of honor twice and bridesmaid 3 times myself, so didn't want to offend lots of friends who may have wanted to be in my bridal party. I figured having one friend as maid of honor would be less of a blow than a handful of bridesmaids that weren't them. But I didn't think about my sister feeling left out, and now I'm worried. Hold on, sorry. Now I'm worried I made the wrong choice. We haven't always had the best relationship, but we've grown up close, relatively speaking, recently, and she isn't a very organised person either. Should I still have had her as a named maid of honour for sentimental honorary purposes, even if my friend would do more of the planning anyway? Help.
I think you're okay.
I think you're okay.
I think your reason behind it, you had your maid of honour, your close, like your best friend as a maid of honour, and then your sister and his future sister-in-law as a bridesmaids. And like you said, she's not organised. I feel like if you put that to her, it's just...
The maid of honour doesn't do that much different than a
also,
bridesmaid.
they're the ones that are responsible for everything.
On the day, maid of honour does nothing different.
Correct.
They might do your dress.
Or hold your bouquet.
Yeah,
or...
that is legit it. It's not even like they walk down the aisle first, because they probably don't. They will probably walk down last.
I think honest conversation, exactly what you've laid out. Sorry, I never meant to... Would you like to do a reading as well? Or would you...
Shout.
You know...
Witness.
Sister's
a good thing for a witness. Both sisters.
That's what I do.
Then are you going to upset mums? Like, it's just... Weddings, this is where the drama comes from with weddings, is that you start to overthink a very simple decision.
Stick with your gut.
Yeah.
I think you've gone about it in the right way.
You've already made her cry. Like, what's the thing? Yeah, but it's done now. You've ripped off the plaster. Like, it's not like you're worried about telling her. You've already done it. She's had the cry, and now she'll move on.
Yeah.
I don't think you should change plans because...
Definitely not. And I don't think you can now label her as maid of honour, because then it will, like, your friend might get upset.
And then the other sister gets upset because you've got one bridesmaid and 2 maid of honours.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, stick to your guns, hun. Just explain it. Maybe just say, I'm really sorry. I didn't expect you to be upset about it. You're just as important to me on the day. I just think that Sophie will do a better... No, maybe don't say Sophie will do a better job of planning. No. Just
I think, yeah, sorry you
feel that way.
I'd love you to still be a bridesmaid, though. And if you don't want to, then that's fine.
Yeah. Bye. Dramas.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Hello, my lovelies. Massive fan of the podcast, been listening since I got engaged last month, and you've both been so helpful. I have a bitch from a bride, but also wanted to give a shout out to Brian, as he was at the wedding I went to this weekend.
Oh, yay! Well done, Brian.
The cocktails were amazing. Yay! And it made the wedding.
Oh, do you know what? I'm so pleased they've said that, because I try and say this to people, and unless you've been to a wedding where they do cocktails, you don't really
appreciate it.
No, they are top tier.
Chef's kiss. Anyway, at said wedding, I was sat with my soon-to-be in-laws. After we discussed the menus we were about to have, I mentioned that myself and my fiance have planned to have a fully vegan menu at our wedding. We're both vegan and do not think we should be paying for meat when we don't agree with it ethically. Well, all hell broke loose. We won't be eating that. We catered for you at our wedding. You always get something when you come to my house. I really wanted to cry. The speeches then started and I just had to hold in my tears. Then they were completely embarrassingly drunk during the speeches, heckling, talking, burping, and then complained over the food and brought their own alcohol. It was utterly disgusting. Now I'm scared about our wedding, and my fiance is mortified with their behaviour. He doesn't want them to act like that are ours, but how can we stop it? Also, how do I tell them that they don't have to eat at the wedding, but they have to shut up and grow up without causing a huge argument? Also, love you both.
Okay, I've gone through a wave of emotions here.
I know. Excited for Brian.
Then I understood that they don't want to pay for meat, and ethically totally get it. But then I also understood the, well, we cater for you part.
Fair.
But then I also go back to the whole, it is their wedding. Like, I've done vegan weddings, and originally I'm like, and then it's like, it's great. You wouldn't know.
I think Brian's cocktails are great. I think you should do a vegan wedding if that's what you ethically think. It's your wedding.
And it's a chance to show off vegan food in a good
cuisine.
way.
And you don't agree with it. So it wouldn't be right for you to serve meat at your wedding when potentially 90% of your guests will be meat eaters, like going on stats.
Yeah.
Thirdly, yes, they cater for you at like their weddings or their places, but they can eat vegan food. You can't eat meat based on your beliefs.
Yeah.
So no one can be like, I don't believe in eating vegetables. Not that vegans eat vegetables. Don't come for me, because I know that's not the case.
Falafel.
But like, no one's gonna be like, I can't eat
Potatoes.
this because
Bread is bread vegan. Some bread is vegan.
Yeah. You get
Potatoes,
vegan
bread,
You get vegan cheese. You can like
rice.
Yeah.
Basically everything. I should be vegan.
Like
You just
vegan
can't have
food
cheese.
is good.
Yeah.
But
Agreed.
like they can eat it. There's no like you can turn around and be like, I don't eat meat ethically.
Yeah.
You can't be like, I don't eat potatoes ethically. Like there's no
Everybody likes potatoes.
like there's nothing really you can say that's not right. And then their behaviour of them being drunk, well, over to you.
The problem is, we were really lucky when we looked at our guest list. There was not one person that I was like, "Oh, I'm a bit worried about them." Whereas I can imagine other couples have the total opposite.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Are you
know,
sure?
But I didn't know.
Oh, spill my beans.
But I imagine some people look at their guest list and they're like, "Oh fuck!" Like when those two are together, they do this. When they're like, I can't imagine what that must feel like going into the day. I don't even know what to say. I would make the venue aware, first of all.
Yes.
Because there's
or
been many a time.
coordinator.
Yeah, because I'll go and take drink off people. I once, at a wedding, there was a
party pooper.
I am a party pooper, because don't be a dick. Like, they had a Tesco bag under the tablecloth. I saw them pour it. They went away to do something. So in that bag was an entire bottle of vodka, some ciders, like a full bar in this little bag. And I just took it out of the bag. And they can't ask. They can't come over to the bar and be like, so I can't find my...
Did you?
Yeah, I took
you
it. You
stole?
It's there at the end of the night when they wanted it.
Oh,
They
did
just
you
didn't
put
ask.
it back? Oh.
No, I didn't put it back. I just had it. And if they asked for it, they would have got it back. But they obviously didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
It's not that, like, it's not... You get loads of free drinks in the day. The bit that we're finding super awkward, and we have slightly talked about this, but I want to talk about it again, is that bit at the end of the wedding breakfast when the free drink goes away.
Yeah.
So wine that has been opened and had on the table, technically at the end of the wedding breakfast, it gets taken away. The amount of people that will take the bottles out to the drinks reception bit and carry on drinking it is what?
No, I'm that person.
I know, and I am too. I don't disagree with you.
No, I thought you said I'm not that person.
I'm not that
I'm
person.
like, you're wrong.
I take them over to the bar and go, here's your drinks back. It's the greyest area of a wedding. It's because it's not, technically free drinks get put away.
Oh, they're not.
No, I know.
We can't start this debate again.
No, I know, but it's still, I feel like it needs to be talked about when people go to venues so they know what's coming.
Yeah.
Because it was some of them have been very awkward, and then guests get really annoyed, and I don't want to ruin their experience of the wedding, but equally I'm trying to stick to the rules of the venue so the couple don't get charged.
Yeah.
Because you've taken...
I think if it's opened, you should have it. You don't need to open anymore.
Yeah, I was kind of at that bit, and Brian was different. Brian shaking his head. My kind of thing is if it's half full, half empty, however you look at life, and you're finishing it, I think that should be the end of it. Yeah. No more bottles get put out, but...
I agree.
I think they would have had about 10 open bottles outside. They would have never bought a drink.
Okay, yeah, they had 10 open bottles of wine outside.
Half the wedding when you would have got drunk on wine.
So when you go to a wedding, open every bottle on the table so you can have them for the...
Yeah, but why did they have that many bottles? Why did they have that many bottles?
All the bottles off the table. Took them out.
Oh, off all the different tables. Yeah, that's a bit gross though, isn't it?
If you say the bottle can be open, then it's okay, and that's what we're going to do.
I feel like I have no issue with somebody at the end when we sort of kick them out of the room. They take their own bottle off the table.
A borderline of being stingy.
Yes.
And like tacky.
Yes.
And that's quite stingy, tacky behaviour.
If you're going to every table and getting the like little dregs of thing.
Put them in your coat pocket.
But we've had it before where we've cleared things and someone will like cleared empty. I never clear a full glass on a table ever because I've worked in events for long enough to know this. But people come over to me like, you've taken my full pint off my table. I was like, why would I take your pint? Why do I want your pint? I will never take a full drink that you've paid for. And they've obviously just put it down somewhere else and then got confused.
Someone took like a 3/4 of my drink. Like it was 3/4 full at a bar, and I was like, you took my drink. And when I say the drink was like £18 for like a gin and lemonade, I was like, you took my drink. But yeah, people will chance it.
Yeah, and like I don't mind you taking the bottle from your table and finishing outside. Brian, do you agree with that? Surely you have to agree with that. I'm not.
No, I think there's a line. It depends. If there's one bottle and there's like 3 of you, okay, cool. But what I did recently, there was
genuinely about 8 bottles of wine sat there.
I also think as well, like if there's a bottle left on your table, you should like fill everyone's glass up.
Agreed.
and-
Agreed.
I think if it's in a glass, you get.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go. There's
Okay,
our rule.
right.
Everyone's agreed.
So at the end of dessert, or whenever they're saying it's time to be moving, you fill up that glass. I don't care if you go to the very top of your glass, whatever, cool.
I don't care if you fill it down and then refill it.
Yeah.
It's got to be in a
There's our
glass.
rule. It's got to be in a glass, and there can be as many of you sharing that as possible. You don't take
The bottle.
the bottles. Cool. Look at us making rules. I think if all venues could agree on that, that'd be great.
Did you see the other day? One of our clients went to a wedding, and one of the guests were really, really drunk to the point where she was like, "I think no more drink for you.
Oh.
I think you should put that down or something." And she was
Yeah.
like, "Eating's cheating," and like wouldn't eat. And I was like, "It's not a piss up. Like, don't get me wrong. Weddings are a party, but it's not a piss up at the wedding breakfast time.
No.
Come on."
I've seen some of the outfits that people wear to weddings. I'm
really?
like, it's not just the club bit.
The
Like, we've
dad
got to do
club.
the day.
Dad club.
Dad club. Like, help a brother out.
I think it's really important, like when you got grandparents.
Yeah. It should just be. It's like Christmas
Nanny
Day.
Pat don't need to see those
Nanny
cheeks.
Pat don't need to see that. Like mesh and like, I don't know. I think people need some etiquette in weddings, and it's not out there enough.
Etiquette.
Plugged.
So I'm going to do more of like an advice one now. I feel like
Okay.
we've been quite drama heavy.
Okay.
So are you ready?
I don't know what you're doing, but yeah, always.
So I've been a bridesmaid 13 times.
Shut up.
You are one popular
It's like
gal.
27 Dresses. Love that film.
And now I'm a bride.
Yay.
I think I'm feeling bizarre to be in this role after being in other roles so many times. Our bridal party families and my fiance are amazing and helping so much with getting everything prepared before passing it off to our planner in a few months before the big day. And though overwhelming some days, I feel like it will come together beautifully. Good for you. It will all come together. What I'm hoping to ask you is some tips for things that as a bride and groom we shouldn't miss doing together on the day. Moments to really stop and savor. I'm hoping after all the planning we'll still be able to step outside of it and be present. Love the podcast so very much. Thanks for all the help and laughs in the planning process.
Okay. How many would
I'm
you
glad
like?
I make you laugh. Georgie probably makes you laugh. I don't.
We both do.
3?
Nah, 5.
All right, big time baller. Go for 5.
Okay. The best one you can do is straight after the ceremony. So when you two go outside, so typically at the end of the ceremony, you will walk down the aisle together, you will move to somewhere, and then your planner coordinator will line everybody up for confetti. That's a good 10 minutes. Like, it takes time to get everybody lined up and hand out confetti. That is your 10 minutes to just be alone, just you two, and be like, oh my God, we're married. So that is number 1, straight after ceremony. Number 2 would probably be when everybody gets called to dinner. So usually there's an allowance of 15 minutes for all your guests to start moving into the wedding breakfast. You two go off and have a wander around the venue, go and do whatever you want to do. Don't wink. I don't think 15, well, actually, Jack, 15 minutes is plenty. Three times.
Sorry, Jack's mum.
Sorry, Jack's.
She does listen.
Does she? Oh, well.
She was like, you seem to bring me in all the time. I was like, well, at least you know the plans for our wedding.
Number 3 would be when you're having food. I feel like me and Brian's best kind of chat was when we both sat down to have some food and we were like, oh, look at all our people. And
Sweetheart table then?
I love a sweetheart table. Depends if it fits. Sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. But even when we had a long table, we still had a bit where we were just kind of together and it was nice. Another one that's quite nice is during that second lull. So actually going off for some photos with your photographer, videographer, like sunset photos, all that sort of stuff. You can still talk to each other. Like, just because people are taking photos of you, you'll still feel those moments together and it'll be lovely. And then my last one, I do love a last dance. If I was not so drunk, we would have done a last dance, but just didn't happen. But if you can be in that position to sort of start to get rid of people and do a last dance, I think that's a really special moment.
Nice.
It's cute. I planned a last dance and then
Didn't do it.
we ended up doing Pony with you lot at the top.
If you
Go get it.
I have another one. I have
Go on.
2 actually.
Go on, let's
I
make
saw
7.
it the other day. Not the other day, a couple of months ago. They had a private drinks and canapes And they had
Cute.
photos as well in there.
Nice.
And I think it was only for like 20 minutes. They got to eat. They had a drink before going out to the drinks reception.
Love that.
Like they were fed, watered. They had their
Yeah.
photos, and then they went to go.
Love
And
it.
I love a private first dance
Interesting.
because you're sober enough
yes.
and
So nobody around. Just
nobody around.
Yeah.
You do your first look.
Yeah.
Do a private first dance.
I feel like we can get some more. I feel like we can get to 10. So
But I like that because Jack's gonna hate me.
go on.
Well, it's not rude. It's just like I love like a little dance in the kitchen. I'm like, come dance with me, and he's like, I hate dancing. So we like it. It makes sense to us
Then say no more.
because we dance.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
That's adorable.
Everyone's picture, and then Cooper jumps up, and it's like.
Oh. So when we were practicing our first dance, we always used to practice it in the kitchen, and Isla would be in there because we had it planned that at the end of our bit she would come and join us. And like when I watch the first dance, you don't just see the first dance, you see all of that like.
But I feel like we're not like we don't want.
Showy.
We don't really want people like if I said, oh, we're going to do a first dance and everyone's going to be there, he'd be like, and I'd kind of feel the same. Like I feel like a first dance is kind of quite intimate, like to the point that like I saw it the other day where they were like singing to each other. And it's like you could feel a little bit embarrassed to you feel quite reserved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's
It's
say
like
to me about a first dance, and I do try and say like at the point of doing a first dance, you've got married in front of everyone, you said your vows in front of everyone, you've kissed in front of everyone, you've done confetti in front of everyone, you do speeches in front of everyone, you cut the cake in front. Like by the time of the first dance, you're kind of like, oh, fuck it.
that's a very good point.
But I totally agree with doing your first dance private, and then when it comes to you doing you can be a bit more enjoyable, like enjoy it a bit more. First look in the room.
Yes,
That's a really lovely moment because actually they get a chance to see what all this fucking effort has been for, and when they
money.
walk in, all the money, all the effort, and to see it without anybody in there is so nice.
first look together before the ceremony.
Yeah, I like a first
Jeez,
look.
we're getting to
I reckon we
10.
do more than that. I like a first look. I did one the other week actually. That was the ill wedding when I was dying, so that did help me because they've got 2 kids together. So he came and they did the first look, and then they had their family portraits pre-ceremony, everything. Loved it.
Nice.
Yeah, with kids, highly recommend.
Nice.
Nice. Oh, that's a good idea. That.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one. Makeup's bang on.
Yeah.
Hair
Yeah.
bang on.
Yeah.
Dress isn't dirty.
Nope.
Oh, that's 10 out of 10 tip. If that doesn't go viral, I'll be shocked.
And then they did the normal ceremony. So I think sometimes people worry that if they do a first look, they can't then walk down the aisle. They did exactly that.
Yeah.
They went. He did his interview with the registrar. She did hers. They then got married. Number 10. It's another moment that you can take. I would just say, let moments happen.
Yeah, there's a moment that I think isn't together, but is also something to really like remember is when you do your letters to each other in the morning.
Yeah.
Like that will make you feel even closer, even though you're not together.
Yeah.
Or I've seen it where they've actually read letters out to each other.
Oh, that gets me that. Oh, it gets me. It does.
That's
I enjoy
nice.
those. And also like just see what happens on the day. Like there will be moments on the day that have not been planned. And if you feel that moment come, like go for it. Like just go off for a walk, go and do something together. Like I think people don't appreciate as much like photographers, videographers, coordinators, because I will make people do bits. Hold on. I will make, so like the wedding the other day, I was like, right, I'm going to make sure that they do the photo booth together. Otherwise they won't do it. We didn't do photo booth together.
Yes.
Just didn't get around to it. I made them go and do the cocktails together. Like all of the things that they had booked, I said before, it was like that evening bit where you after the first dance, but I've not left yet, when I'm like, cool, let's just smash them all out. The photographer's still here. Let's get your moments captured. But because they were just the 2 of them, they really enjoyed those like little bits. So I think go with your suppliers if they're saying to you, why don't we go and do this? Why don't we do that? Because from 9 o'clock at the latest, you're on your own then. Do whatever you want.
I feel like you can get really caught up in the wedding day and actually miss these really, it's like, without being cliche, like we always say, it's not about the love and it's not about it, but it like,
of course it is.
It is.
Yeah. But these things don't happen naturally. There has to be some kind of forced thing behind it, and that sounds awful, and I don't mean it to sound awful, but if nobody says to you,
take 10,
go and talk to each other for 5 minutes after the ceremony, you're a bit like, oh, whatever, but otherwise you won't do it.
I also have seen before where like they've got really aggy with each other because they're like, oh, we've got so much to do, we're this and that and that, and you're so stressed about it being perfect that your vibe wears off to their
Everybody.
vibe, and then you're both like like you're not miserable, but you're both like it's like when we said it the other day, Jack was like, we're never hosting again, because like, you know, when you've got like jobs to do, it's quite similar, where you're like, right, well, you hoover, you do this, and you're like, fucking hell, fucking can't be. You're like paying all this money to do you know what I mean? It's
to not
like
then enjoy it.
Really enjoy those moments.
Yeah, but I think they're good. Like there are definitely points in the day.
Solid 10.
Oh, look at us, honestly. there are many moments in the day where you guys can take yourselves away and it not feel no offense, nobody will miss you because they're doing other things. Like stuff is happening. It's fine. Also, you get served all of your food first.
Yep.
You can go. Like you don't need to be sat. It's not the same rules as when you're out for dinner. Like
you don't
can go
sit and watch everyone eat.
No, because the last table 10. Fuck 'em.
That's nice, actually. That's a good point, that you'll have probably at least half an hour.
Definitely. So then just go off. And the thing is, your venue, your coordinator will come back and get you and say, it's dessert time now. Come and sit down. You'll be like, yeah, cool, sweet.
Yeah.
Like you're very important on the day. You can do whatever you want, really.
VVIPs.
VVIP. Okay, I've got a little one, which was just a comment on one of my videos. Do you have any tips for buttoning a dress with lots of buttons? I feel burdensome having to ask someone to button me in since I can't do it myself. Any tips or tricks to make it easier would be great.
That's what maid of honor and bridesmaids are for.
Yeah.
Like, they've only got to do it once. They want to help you get ready.
I agree with that.
It's like exciting. You're like, oh, we're putting on your dress together. Oh, we like your mum, or like I'd probably get my mum to do it. But you can get like the hooks, can't you? That just help you button up.
I just use a grip. If you pull apart a grip, makes a little V, and you literally it takes honestly 5 seconds.
But it's also like a really nice.
It's a nice moment. It's nice photos. I normally, the typical thing that I see is that I will help the mum put the dress on, because the bridesmaids will be doing a first look.
Yep.
Mum will stand and do a couple for the photos, and then I'll whip in and go.
Also, make sure they've got clean hands.
Yeah. Oh, somebody had makeup on their dress the other day.
People are like touching foundation.
Yeah. Wash hands. If you want to buy white gloves, feel free. Like, don't feel bad.
So I've got a top tip.
Go on.
I don't know. I saw it on TikTok or wherever.
Why has your accent changed?
Don't know, because I think they're from Australia. I can't credit them, but if I find them, I will make sure I credit them.
Okay.
White chalk.
Yes, I've seen that. I've been sent it a few times. I think it's been
chalk.
put, but I haven't tested it, and I'm scared to say
We
it.
tested it the other day on a tablecloth because we had a different florist, so it wasn't us doing the flowers, it was a different florist. She had marks on the bottom of whatever she was using.
Yeah, Oasis.
So
was it green?
No, well, you can get Oasis off tables quite easily, but there was something else, and we've put it, as soon as I started the video, I was like, get some chalk and put it in our battle boxes. We call them battle boxes because we're going to war.
I go for a kit bag because it's a little less scary.
And we put it on that. Perfect.
Does it? Do you know
so
what?
have that as a bridesmaid. If your bride spills anything,
I'm going to add it. I've got a little stain remover pen, but sometimes I'm more scared of using that than not. And like, it depends. So I am going to take some. And if there is ever an opportunity where I can test it myself, I will. Because it's just scary when it's on a dress.
Chalk's very easy to come off though. You could wipe chalk off with a wet cloth. Yeah. And it's not wet, so it doesn't that's the worst thing, is like wet and drying and like I'm
gonna test it. So we've ticked it for the tablecloth. We'll just test it because I'm worried about different material dresses.
I'll let you test it.
Okay. I'll let you know.
I was finding pictures from a bride.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I love this already.
I'm more just looking for backup on my decision.
Okay.
I'm getting married next year, and my sister has started dating someone that everyone hates, apart from my mum. My friends and I and all my partner's family have known him a long time and cannot stand him. He starts fights, is rowdy, a bit of a bully, and is just an all-round not a nice person. My partner and I are firm on not inviting him, as we will all be on edge all day, and we're not spending thousands on a day that could be ruined because he wants to start an argument. However, my sister, who is my maid of honor, and my mum are already not talking to me and have backed out of helping with anything to do with the wedding because it's not fair to not invite my sister's partner. My partner is getting bitter about how they are treating me, which is already making me awkward, and I'm at risk of not having a sister at my wedding. I'm dreading the whole day now, but I'm also so angry because it's the biggest day of my life and they've just dropped me. Am I overreacting, or are they being ridiculous? Do you want to go first?
I've done the motions again. So my immediate reaction is, you can't not invite somebody's partner to your wedding. My secondary reaction is, they are spending thousands and thousands of pounds on a day, and if they're confident that somebody's going to ruin it.
Agree.
Then I go back to it's uncomfortable for her sister to then be at a wedding and people be like, where's your partner? And she'd be like, oh, wasn't invited. Awkward.
Agree.
But then what if he then starts a fight and you're like, I fucking knew this was going to happen, but you can't go back?
It's a full house. I agree.
I don't know.
I personally think you've got a year, right? So you're going to have family functions. You're going to have stuff before. This is his chance to prove that he's not what everyone's saying he is. He may have changed.
Yes.
Would your sister go for him if he was really this person? He might have been this person before. He might not be now. People can
also
change.
Respect the fact that it's a wedding.
Yeah. If he kicks off between now and the wedding at any function, you have a bit more ground.
This is a great idea.
But it's also kind of like not guilty.
Guilty till proven innocent.
Innocent until proven guilty. Hey, we got there.
But you can't risk being guilty on the wedding day.
But
you can't get that back.
You got to think between now, if you go, I would book in dinners with all of you together where it's going to get a bit.
But what if you hate
rowdy.
him?
But do you actually, or you've known him for a long time? Like, if you hated him that much,
because think of someone you hate.
Yeah.
If your brother started dating someone you hate,
you give him a chance.
Would you?
Yeah, because you do that out of respect for your siblings. And she's your maid of honor. And like your mum likes him. Like your mum's not going to like someone that's rude to her sister.
I would just put your mum in charge of him and I would say, you're fucking making me invite this guy. You are now total control of him. And I know this is really silly.
She's going to throw that back at her though. And be like, why is it my problem?
No, you fucking want him there. I have recommended to couples before that are worried about certain people, you can get security at weddings.
Yes, I've seen it.
And it's not really like, it's not like a club where they won't let you in.
You can get undercover. Like they could look like they're working at the venue, because we had a wedding the other day. Drugs.
Oh, I need to tell you about a wedding. Yeah, carry on.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Fighting. Booze, all before the wedding breakfast.
Wow.
And I said to the venue, I was like, I'm just saying what I've seen.
Yeah.
You do you. And they're like, we don't want to stir the pot. And I'm like, on your head be it.
Yeah.
Because venues can lose their license.
Yeah. We did a wedding the other week. Brian was with me. I'm very
wait.
Sorry, Ko.
Just conclude.
Okay, sorry.
Conclude.
Remind me that in a second.
I want to hear the story.
Security, I think, is actually quite a good one. Like, I know that seems bad, but I would.
A bit far?
No, but it depends on if they're saying what he's actually saying, like he actually starts fights and stuff like that. Security can sack him off.
I think if you need security for your wedding, they shouldn't be.
You can't. You've just said you have to invite them.
I think give him a chance.
What, on the day?
No, you've got a year.
Okay, all right, fair.
Book a breezy brunch. Book a meal. Like book a night out.
Spend time with him then. I don't even fucking
yeah,
like
well,
him.
they might like. Do you know what I mean? They might.
Yeah.
He might have changed.
Unfortunately, you cannot pick your family, and that now is family.
And I think it's. I get your point. I get your feelings. I get your fiance's feelings. Your feelings are very valid.
Very valid.
Very
sit him
valid.
on a table further away. Keep out of the way.
But your sister is your sister.
Yeah.
We always say you can't change family. You hate when people say that, but like genuinely, until he's done something directly to you, you don't really have too much ammo to go in. He might have done, so we might be talking.
This is also true. I feel like a good conversation with sister
and
be
mumsy.
like, yeah, I don't mean to upset you, but looking at the history, this is why we're concerned. The wedding is costing us 20 grand. If he ruins it, I'll fucking murder him.
Well, it'll ruin their relationship, won't it?
Yeah, for sure.
They might not be together by the wedding. No.
Fingers crossed.
You're nasty. Tell me a drug story.
Oh, do you know what? So I've never done any drugs. Shout out me.
You've never done like
I have
wacky-backy?
I have never tried a cigarette. I have never done anything at all.
Have you smelt weed?
Yes. I can smell it outside.
You're right.
Solid me. Not, and it's not out of
righteousness.
Yeah, I've just not really ever been in the situation to do it.
We advise don't do drugs.
Yeah, don't do drugs. Like I also think I'm annoying enough. Imagine if I was on coke, how annoying I'd be.
Fair.
Yeah. So I don't need it.
Did you have any drugs when you gave birth?
Oh, gas and air.
Oh, you liar! You had a bit of laughing gas, didn't you?
Is that what that is?
I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't know what gas is. I just sucked on some gas without even asking what it was.
Of course you did.
It was wonderful. I made Brian try it. He didn't like it.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm very naive to drugs.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I know you are, because I told you someone was doing drugs at a wedding. You're like, no, they're not.
Yeah.
They definitely were.
So I don't really notice it. And it's only if I'm at weddings with Brian when he's like, oh, look, they're all absolutely. I don't even know the terminology for it. I don't want to name too many drugs on this thing, but like they're all smashed. I don't know, whatever the saying is. And I'm always like, are they? And then it's only later on that I realised, but we did a wedding not that long ago. Oh, fuck me. I think every single person was on drugs. And I couldn't then unsee it. Like they would go behind the bar, help themselves. Like it was a free bar, but they'd go behind the bar, help themselves to drinks. Absolutely. And doing it, at one point I went upstairs to do something. They did it in front of me. And I'm like, I'm working. I've also worked at a wedding where they offered I had staff working there, offered one of the staff member drugs.
Must look the type.
They were like 15. Yeah, oh yeah, once when Brian was still a police officer, a guy went over to the bar and was like, oh mate, have you got any coke? And he was like, I am not the person to be asking. He's like, no, it's fine. He's like, I'm literally a police officer. He was like, Diet Coke. But I just didn't realise it was a thing. I didn't really think it was a thing at weddings. I don't really get it.
Yeah, I feel like I don't hang around enough to see it.
No,
I mean, it's part of people's culture, it's part of people's friendships groups, it's part of people's life. Like where I used to work, not at a wedding venue, but a company I used to work for, our MD was like...
No, see, I'm so naive.
So like
honestly.
when we did Glasgow,
Yeah.
it was like... everywhere. And like again, I was very young and naive to it all, and I was just like, what the hell's going on?
I just don't. But then
I'm always scared to be like death by.
Could you imagine the one time that I tried a little bit of something and then it was like mother of one,
gravestone,
wedding planner,
coordinator and bride of 2022 and druggie
overdose. Oh, it stresses me out because I think it's
hard
a couple
for
in an awkward
us.
situation.
Well, it depends if they're doing it as well, but it also
Would you do it? Would a couple do it?
But if that's part of your lifestyle, then yes, people would. I think it just puts your suppliers, your venue, your coordinator in a very awkward position if they're not used to being around it.
Yes, and also it's very illegal. Like I know we're skipping over. I know it's culturally blah 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 blah, but it is still very illegal, and it does put people that are working in very difficult situations.
Would you call the police?
No.
Have you ever called the police at a wedding?
No, but I've been involved with police at a wedding.
I had to call an ambulance.
I have had to call an ambulance, yeah.
Cracked his head open on the stairs and was like this.
Oh.
Like, you know, like an actual cartoon. And he was like, I'm fine. I was like, you're not fine.
I had an old lady that I thought died. Like, actually thought she died.
Really?
Yeah, that wasn't very nice. We had to take her into a different room because I was like, if she's dying, I don't really want the bride and groom to know.
Yeah.
Not know, but like I don't want it in the middle of their wedding. And luckily there were some doctors and nurses there, and I was just on the phone.
People love a drama at a wedding, don't they? Everyone like gathers around, and you're like,
yeah,
go away.
Shoo.
Don't let the bride know.
Yeah, and then the bride ended up coming out, and then it was all tears, and I was like, she's fine. I didn't know she was fine. She was, but we cancelled the ambulance. She perked up. I think she had a stroke.
Really?
I think that is what happened. Yeah, somebody took her to the hospital because she perked up a bit. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, drugs, rock and roll, death,
boats and hoes.
Let me be naive to it. Like, that's all I'm saying. If you're going to do whatever you're doing at a wedding,
I don't want to see it, don't want to hear it, don't know about
nothing.
it.
Yeah, don't want to know nothing.
Because it puts us like insurance is void.
Yeah.
Like there's so much, like if we know about stuff and someone got injured, again, personal licenses, like alcohol licenses.
Yeah, and
like,
I will then call the police, because if you're putting my job at risk and my lifestyle and my family, you're done.
Because what people don't realise is that you have a venue license and then the person behind, one of the people behind the bar have to have
drinks license, alcohol license.
Yeah. And your name and your home address is on that. And if you are serving someone you know is doing drugs or whatever and they die,
you're fucked.
You will get investigated and it's like, it's mad. It's like when people say, I don't want to lose my license. It's like, we are liable. Like when we do an alcohol license, they're like, you can go to prison. You're like, I don't want to do this.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
I want a tip jar. What would be your tips for the morning after a wedding?
Ooh, I need to set up.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. Tips for morning after the wedding. Pick a good outfit.
Strong. Joggers, like white. Yeah.
Like strong outfit, because you're going to still want to be like
bougie.
You're still going to have your tan. You're still going to look the dogs.
I did not look the dog's bollocks after my wedding.
I know it's not really that important, but hair.
Yeah.
Like some people still come down with their hair pinned up.
Yeah.
Or if it's not looking too good, girl, just take it out and redo it, because you look like you've been going through a bush. Allocate people jobs if you've got anything to take. You'll have decorations, flowers, cake, gifts, cards, and think about how many cars and vehicles you need to pack all this away and give someone the job.
Yes.
Because you're going to be hungover.
Hanging.
If you drink.
Yeah, true.
Hydrate.
Think about food that next morning.
Hydrate and eat. I also don't think you need to come down too early to be with your guests.
Depends what time you've got to be out.
Yeah, I feel like it's such a quick, like, boom,
See ya.
out.
I think people should plan something for the next day, even if it's just, we're going for breakfast here.
Yeah.
If you want to be there, cool. If you don't, cool.
Let everyone know the breakfast time that you're going to be there and get down for it.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think there's a lot, like, from what I've seen, especially when I go to weddings on the day of the wedding, and then you get the other couple coming down, and it's so stressful for them, and I feel bad for them because they're trying to grab everything, they're trying to figure out what they're doing. Like, it's nice to just have a plan. And then you're like, cool, we're leaving, all of our stuff is in this box, my mum's taking that, we'll meet you at Toby Carvery.
Don't book your honeymoon for the day after the wedding.
I could not agree with you more.
There's just too much going on, and the stress of you getting to the airport.
Yeah.
You're starting it off on a bad
I
foot.
just think I would like to have a little bit of come down, open my cards, look at all the pictures,
Yes.
message people, see the Facebook, see the Instagram, like all of that sort of stuff. I reckon 4 days. Because also,
I'd go the
pack.
following Friday.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we went a year later.
Yeah.
Going a year later.
But I suppose it's hard then because you want time off before the wedding.
Yeah.
Then you've got the wedding off. Then you need to like get ready for honeymoon. Then you want to probably go away for 2. You need like a month off work.
You really do need a month off work. I did a wedding not long ago where they got married on the Saturday. They had an after party on the Sunday, like proper after party, DJ sax. They went on that Sunday evening to the airport. So they had packed their like stuff to go for. And I was like, that is my worst nightmare because I wouldn't be able to pack for a wedding and a honeymoon in the same pack.
I was packing for holiday and I was like, this is like packing for the morning of the wedding. You're like, I've got this, I've got this, I've got this. Stressful.
Very
Nails,
stressful.
hair, like wax, like you so much to do.
No.
But I suppose you could probably go the day after.
Yeah,
But just
it's a
pack
lot.
before the wedding.
I would want to get home. I mean, ours is a little bit different maybe because we had a lot more stuff because it was quite DIY. We had a van to unload. We had to put stuff everywhere. We had to drop off like people's shit that we had
Pick
to
up glasses.
go and pick up the glasses, drop stuff back to hit. Like we'd hired in stuff, so we had stuff to do. And then I couldn't be bothered to book a honeymoon at the same time as trying to plan a wedding. No, thank
Fair.
you. We don't need to do a bitch from bride because we've done a whole episode on it.
It's the end of the episode.
Is there anything else that you want to update people?
No.
No. Are we telling them about it yet?
No.
Not even a little bit. What
Follow
if
us on social media.
What if I said accidentally maybe that one day we might be looking at doing a tour?
Accidentally, maybe one day we might be in. We might have a venue sorted.
And what if I accidentally said that maybe we've also got loads of cool ideas for it, and also like it will be like one big ass wedding
Hen
podcast
party.
episode, hen do like vibe.
I mean, yeah, that sounds great, but I don't know.
No, maybe
who's doing that?
I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
Tune in next week. Love you. Bye.
Bye.